All right, so welcome to the video. So today I'm going to be giving you some good stuff here. So I'm going to be showing you how to build a high converting landing page for your law firm. Obviously, it's one thing building a good Google Ads campaign, but if you're not running it to somewhere that is actually built to convert the paid traffic, then you're leaving money on the table basically. Right, so we'll jump straight into it. Not going to waste time. Let's see. So this is a template of what a high converting landing page can look like. Now, it can come in all shapes and sizes and it can work, right? So what I'm showing you here is a way to kind of put all the elements together. Okay, there's certain elements that you have to or you should have if you want to convert, more of your clicks than less. Okay. So I'll just kind of go through everything one by one. I'm going to tell you things that you definitely should consider and things that are like optional. But what you want to go for is having all the elements on the landing page and having it look like it looks, having it still look good. Because there's so many landing pages out there, especially for lawyers, where it just has a whole bunch at the very top and it doesn't look well put together. But I'll kind of go into that in a bit more detail in a minute. So we'll start with the headline. Okay, so what you want to do first of all is obviously we have a separate landing page for each keyword that we bid for. Okay, and the headline should be whatever that keyword is. So if it's like DUI attorneys, right, or DUI attorney, whatever it is, that should be the keyword here. That should be the headline. Okay, it just goes back to people like seeing exactly what they've searched for. It's a small thing, but before we used to have headlines where we tried to make it sound fancy, we tried to make it sound amazing and whatnot, but you do just want the headline to be the keyword. It's just simple. Now for the subheadline, so the way you think about it now is like what maybe you used to use for your headline is what you use for your subheadline, but here are just some like things to consider. So your subheadline can be like credentials that you have. Okay, any kind of credentials, you can put it here. Any kind of experience, if you guys have like a lot of experience in what you do, if you've had millions and millions and millions in settlements, you can put that here. Results in general, you can kind of put that as your subheadline. It just supplements obviously the keyword since it's obviously, or the headline since it's obviously quite plain. Okay, right, let's see. So normally people look at the keyword, the headline first, and then they'll kind of scan across. So we'll go to the contact form. So this is like, yeah, you need this. This, pretty much you need this. This, you definitely need this. Okay, so the contact form. So some lawyers have their contact form like further down in the page. And one thing I should add, I should have said this at the start. This bit here, what people see first is called above the fold. Okay. Now, the thing is, like, this is the most important part of the whole page. Okay. Because in the first 5 seconds, in the first 3 seconds, people decide whether they even want to look at what your page has to offer. So you have to be able to sell your service just by looking at this page without them having to scroll down or anything like that, right? And this is why we put a lot of importance on getting this bit right, okay? So some people have their contact form like further down in the page. I don't like to waste time, like just show people, give people the option to just contact you as soon as possible, because you have to put yourself in the mindset of the person searching. Depending on your service area, they might need your service like now, as soon as they might be in like a bad way and they need to get in touch with someone as soon as possible. So just give them the option to do that. And that's another reason why we don't kind of run it to your website, because there's so many distracting things on the website. But with a landing page, you have one page and the only thing you can do is to become a lead or not become a lead. That's it. Okay. So give people what they're looking for. They just either want to call you or they want to fill out the contact form. Okay. So we have our offer here as well, so I might as well go through that. So obviously this is important. Like, what are you offering people? So you're offering them a free assessment, a free evaluation, whatever it might be. Have it nice and bold so people can see it. Okay, we like to add something like this as well, just to kind of show them that it's no obligation, because you're giving them a free offer, right, for them to take up. Give them an extra reason to kind of get in touch with you. Obviously this is just to be compliant. And yeah, and another thing is with the contact form, you want to draw attention to it. Okay, because if they can notice this first, then fantastic, you know. So I don't know if you notice we have a bit of a glow. Just because the background is light, you might not be able to see it very well, but we have a bit of a glow around it. We also have this arrow pointing to, the button here as well. Now, one thing you can do, so we'll talk about the image here as well. The image is very important because the image can either take away from what you're doing or it can add to what you're doing. And the sense that when it takes away is when the image is very busy. Okay, so if you have an image where you can't read the text very well, then it's taken away from, it's taken away from the results you could be getting. Okay, but you can see here we have a plain background. When I have plain backgrounds, I normally like to go for gradients. It just makes it pop a little bit more, but not too much, And you can also have an image of yourself here as well. Obviously, this is just like a stock image that I found on Google. What you can also do, obviously this looks good and you can have it like this, but you can also, if you have like an image of yourself looking to the right, you can also have it look into the form as well. Again, it's driving more attention to the form because this is what we want them to fill out, or obviously call us as well, whichever one it is. Okay, so that's that. Now we'll go through the header here as well. So here you can have like a guarantee. Okay, so if you have like, some form of guarantee, obviously you're not going to have it for every service area, but if you do for yours, you can have it here. You can also have a mini menu here as well. So this can take you to different parts of the landing page itself, because we'll never really have like a second page or a third page or like, like a website. So if it's like about us, if it's like, reviews, if it's like how we help, if it's like our services. So if you're dealing with like PI and you have obviously services, practice areas within PI itself, you can have a section for that. And all it will do is just take you to that section on the landing page. Okay, so it saves load times, it's very snappy, and people get to go to exactly what they want to see. Okay, so you can have a mini menu at the very top here. Obviously, you want to have call now as well. Again, another call to action, very simple. One thing I've started testing out is this. Obviously, our clients aren't open 24/7, right? But we started putting this on here on some of the clients because we want people to feel like they can call at any time. Because what I've noticed is after working hours, the amount of leads that come in tend to kind of diminish a little bit. So I've started doing this only recently because the ads are only going to run when the client can take calls anyway. Okay, so it's not like the client is going to be, it's not like you're going to be getting calls like at 3 a.m. Do you know what I mean? Because the ads will be off by then anyway, right? So it just shows like, you guys are really serious about what you do, that you take calls 24/7. Okay, so that's something you can test out. Most of what I'm showing you here, you can kind of test things out and see what works. But in terms of the headline, subheadline, contact form, stuff like that, it's, those things you definitely want on the page. Okay, obviously you have your logo on the left here. Now, one other thing you can do as well, if you have a video, like, showing who you are, telling people about what you do, obviously you just don't want, some people just have the video at the very top. And again, it needs to look put together. So you can have like a play button here. Okay. And this will kind of show a pop-up of whatever the video is. What you can also do is you can also have it show up on exit. So if someone's about to leave the page, you can have that same pop-up of the video kind of showing people who you are, what you do, how you help, stuff like that. Like videos, when they're watched, it really, helps in terms of converting. And again, it makes you stand out as well. So there's that. Now, you should have your review here as well, like, your Google review. Now, this is a button that can take you to a certain part of the page that actually shows your Google reviews. So you can have like a carousel of all the Google reviews that you've had. And again, you want to show people like, the amount, you want to show people obviously your rating, stuff like that. People like to see it. You can also have this as a widget as well, like on the side, like a little like, side panel thing. Now, another thing as well that you want to show is the benefits. Yeah, again, this one's quite important. Like, obviously, you don't just say your benefits. You can just put whatever, but you want to show all the benefits of working with you. Okay, and you want to show it like this, something like this. You can put it like as a list here. You can kind of rearrange it, but again, the main thing I'm trying to show you here is how to set it up to where it looks good. Yeah, it doesn't look like a mess. Because sometimes I see on landing pages for attorneys that they have a whole bunch of stuff, like a whole bunch of buttons you can click, a whole bunch of like options, You don't want to have too much going on, because if you have too much going on, the person's going to think this is too busy, I'm going to jump off, look for someone that's a bit clearer. Okay, so watch out for that. So that's for the benefits. I think those are all the important elements that you want to consider. I'm trying to think if there's anything that I've missed. Okay, one other thing that you want to have is you see how there's this padlock here. So when people give their details, you want them to feel like, and you should obviously, protect their information, and you want them to feel like their information is, secure and safe, basically. So you can either have like a symbol like this, or you can just have it say, secure and safe, or secure and safe. Okay, so it's just the little things that people kind of pick up on, to make them feel like their information is actually secure and safe. So just a small thing there as well. Other than that, though, that's pretty much everything. I'll show you a couple different other examples. One thing I've done with this landing page is I have the header here as a sticky option. So wherever you are on the page, it's very easy to kind of click on call now, whatever the call to action here will be. Okay, so that's that. I'll show you a slightly different example. Now, the reason I want to show you this example is because I want to show you that there's kind of different ways to kind of put things together. The only other thing I kind of have on this page is I have like authority badges. Obviously, these are just random badges, right? So if you're going to have these kind of badges, you want to only have 3. Any more than 3, then it's overkill. Any less, then it might not be working as well as it could be. Okay, so you want to have 3 maximum. I don't think there's anything else different about this page. Obviously, we have some CSS here, but other than that, it's pretty much the same thing. Okay, the background is different. So let's say this was for like a DUI one. So you can see how this background image complements the page, right? It doesn't take away from it, because you can still read what everything says, but you can see it kind of complements it only ever so slightly though. So obviously this is a road at night, right? And people get pulled over, and people, you kind of get what it does here. So always kind of make sure your image complements, what you're doing here. What you can also do is have a video here as well. You can have a video here, because what I want you to think when you do end up making your own, if you do end up making your own, is you want to make something that has all the important elements, right? But you also want to make it look a little bit unique. You want it to look different, because when someone clicks on your landing page, on your ad, they might click on like 2 or 3 other ads, but if yours just happens to stand out, it just pops a little bit more, that might make the difference in you getting that person to call you over the next person. Okay, so just have a think about that as well. So make it so if you want to rearrange this, maybe have this somewhere else. Maybe I've got the reviews here instead. Maybe like change things around. I'll show you another thing, because most attorneys, when they have this, I don't think this is a sticky section. Yeah, it's not. So when they have a sticky section, they have it at the top, but I'll just show you this last example. Now, the thing is, we'll only ever really work with attorneys. Yeah, we're not going to really work with any other type of like, service providers, but this is just like a side project that I'm working on. I just want to show you this just for the example. So you can see at the bottom here, I've got this like glass sticky section, not glass, but like, I don't know what else to call it. Like a blurred, opaque maybe section here. So again, you might think it's easier to click at the bottom of the page than the top of the page. It's just like a different feel. Most people have the sticky section at the top. It might not look like this. It might not have the same kind of effect. But again, it's just a small, it's just buttons here to kind of have people get in touch with you. Okay, and it looks different. So if you had something like this on this kind of landing page, again, it will look different, but it still serves like a purpose, making it easy for people to kind of get in touch with you. You see that? So that's pretty much that. So that's pretty much everything. Now, if you need help to kind of build a high converting landing page, this is something that we do on a daily basis. Like we've done it for all our clients, and we can have, or if you just want to have a conversation about how you can improve whatever you already have in place, we can have that conversation as well. Other than that, thank you so much and take care.